What does it mean to be a male or a female? To be a masculine or a feminine? Or to be a man or a woman? The human mind and body are so complex, and to answer these questions, we have to trace our journey from the moment we were born. Good day, grade 8 learners. This is Grail Bangi, your facilitator for today's lesson. Before that, let us look into our objective for today. First, we have to discuss the basic terms in sexuality as an important component of one's personality. Second, analyzes the factors that affects one's attitude and practices related to sexuality and sexual behavior. As we continue to grow and develop, it is important that we know what is gender and sexuality as a social reality and how to manage the crucial aspect of personality, which is sexual health. We also want to understand how a person's gender is expressed from birth to adulthood. Our ultimate goal is to foster understanding of the diversity of how humans experience and express their sexuality. Let's start by defining the word sex. It is a biological basis of being a male or female. The term generally pertains to your identity depending on your sexual anatomy and physiology, which means part of your body that are relevant to reproduction and the function of its parts. It is typically determined by our genitals. These are external organs that are associated with reproduction, the process or ability to create offspring. Among humans, sex is often assigned at birth. If at birth the child is observed to have a penis and testicles, then the child is categorized as male. If on the other hand the child is observed to have a vagina, then the child is categorized as a female. However, there are cases when the baby's genitals appear to be conglomerate of male and female organ, such as that it may be difficult to classify the baby's sex without further examination. In the past, this condition is referred to as hermaphroditism. It came from the name Hermes, a Greek male god, and Aphrodite, a female Greek goddess. In modern times, it is referred to as intersexuality since it may be difficult to distinguish biological sex by merely examining the genitals. There are biological markers used. For instance, your chromosomes. Chromosomes are protein structures which can contain your genetic materials and are also used to determine sex. There are specific chromosomes referred to as sex chromosomes, which marks a person's biological sex. An individual with sets of XY sex chromosomes is said to be a male, while an individual with a set of XX sex chromosomes is said to be a female. The level of some hormones are chemicals in our body that are responsible for sustaining bodily processes are also used as markers. For example, males tend to have higher levels of testosterone, which is associated with sexual drive and aggressions. On the other hand, human females tend to have higher level of estrogen and progesterone, which are associated to lactation, menstruation, and other female reproductive functions. However, humans are meaning-making organisms. Our ability for higher order thinking and our tendency to create social norms allow us to attach social and cultural meaning to things
including our sex.
For example, males are typically expected to be masculine, and females are expected to be feminine. Once parents become aware of their child's sex, either male or female, during birth or through prenatal procedures such as ultrasound, they automatically attach social and cultural meanings to their child's sex. And in doing so, they already set an expectation in terms of how their child should behave and how they should treat their child or children. These social dimensions of one's sexuality is referred to as gender. There are many ways which gender is manifested. As soon as a new baby arrives in the family, adults surrounding the baby manifest their social interpretations of the baby's sex by the colors assigned to the baby. For example, as commonly observed to families, they buy blue apparels and toys when the baby is male because color blue is associated with boyhood. Conversely, female babies are often assigned to color pink, such that families would buy clothes and toys that are color pink because the color is associated with girlhood. Remarkably, the moment a baby is born, the name, toys, and apparels are picked by parents and relatives based on their interpretation of the baby's sex. Throughout childhood and adolescence, these assignments become more complex as the expectations go beyond the kind of clothes worn, but also in terms of how the person must or must not behave. There are sets of behaviors that all female individuals must follow, and so, with male individuals, all are expected to stick with these behaviors that are aligned to their biological sex. This phenomenon in determining the normality of a behavior based on whether it conforms or not to the expectations relative to one's biological sex is referred to as heteronormativity.
This is what we call gender role. It is a set of roles and characteristics and expectations of how a man and woman should feel, think, and act as influenced by parents, peers, and society. Gender role is greatly influenced by society. Community will dictate what men and women should do to play their role as members of the community.
In the Filipino culture, girls are expected to have certain characteristics of being gentle, caring, and loving, while boys are encouraged to be strong, rough, and assertive. These expectations also extend to how men and women are expected to behave, the college course they take, and the jobs they apply to. However, there are people who do not follow culturally accepted standards of masculinity and femininity. Girls not wanting wearing dress and boys not wanting to play rough sports. There is a natural variation of the human gender expression. Social and cultural practices change through time. Just 60 years ago, women could not wear pants without social approval. But now, wearing pants is already an accepted fashion trend among people of different genders. How we express our gender is largely based on our social and cultural setting. Most are comfortable with their sex and gender. Each culture has different standards on how a man or a woman presents themselves according to their sex and gender. For instance, our culture. Ato or Dapay is a place where males learn how to play the gong at an early age, and females are forbidden to enter it. It is also a place where they learn how to act and behave as men. This example shows what is expected of both genders. It is important that you know what the roles and responsibilities of both sexes are. Whether you are a female or a male, you should have a clear understanding of what the society and your family expects of you.
The total being of a person is what we call sexuality. It is about how we love and treasure ourselves and other people. It means we have to be aware of ourselves better. The developmental changes we are experiencing will affect us, so we must have an intensive knowledge on how to deal with these changes. How we react to these changes is also part of our sexuality. This refers to our attitude towards ourselves. How we see ourselves as a man or a woman. How we think of ourselves as a man or a woman. And most importantly, how we feel and love ourselves as a man or a woman.
A healthy sexuality encompasses the following characteristics. First is self-love. This means the acceptance of yourself. Second, self-knowledge. It refers to the understanding of your feelings and your character. Self-love, this means your awareness of the things that you can do well. Fourth, self-respect. This is your regard for yourself as a worthwhile person. And fifth is self-expression. This is the way of showing your individuality in expressing yourself as a man or a woman. Also bear in mind that it is important to learn human sexuality because of the following. First, it teaches you that giving and receiving love is a human need. It also helps you appreciate your sexual identity. It makes you respect your own and other person's body. It makes you experience body changes and learn how to properly manage these changes. It helps you appreciate how life began, and it provides you with information on how to be disease-free and how to live a healthy lifestyle. One important aspect of our gender is our sense of who we are. Do we see and experience ourselves as a man or a woman? Or neither? This refers to our gender identity. Typically, males are comfortable to be identified as men. However, there are cases where a person's biological sex do not align with their gender identity.
It is very important for everyone to feel safe as they share their sexuality, since it is a personal and sensitive topic. We can do that in an environment wherein we do not feel judged or discriminated upon. People who experience prejudice and discrimination will suffer negative psychological effects. I end this lesson by saying we must work towards an inclusive environment where everyone feels safe. My name is Grail Bangi. Stay safe and see you. Bye!